What's up? What's up? Welcome back to Millionaire Voices, Season 2, Episode number 6. Today, I have the honor of interviewing the founder of AW Advanced Aesthetics Training, the founder herself, Adriana Wroth. So, without further ado, welcome to Millionaire Voices.
Thank you, Danny. I'm super happy to be here and to be connecting with you. I met you for quite some time now, and I admire you, and we connected in such a great way that I just wanted to be here and talk to you.
I really appreciate it, Adriana. And what I saw about you when I first encountered you was just a beautiful person inside and out who was
Thank
very
you.
strong, powerful, and had an amazing career. So I was liking my viewers and everyone who listens to understand the path that it takes for people to become successful in all aspects of life, especially their business journey. So how I usually start the show, and I'd love to ask you, is kind of going back to square one. Adriana Wroth, where were you born? Where were you from?
Colombia. I'm from South America, Bogota, the capital. So I come all the way from South America here.
Powerful that you were able to come from another country to the American dream per se and build an amazing business that we'll get into. And so what I'd like to ask people is a little bit about the journey, before you really became an entrepreneur. So how many years were you living in Colombia before you came to the States?
I was 17, 18 when I moved here, so I was young.
Did you always have that drive to want to become an entrepreneur or the drive to create your own businesses when you were younger?
I had the drive to do great things and big things, but not really thinking to become an entrepreneur. As I lived and throughout the years is when I started realizing that I could create, that I could do a lot of things and believe in myself, because I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with, that we can do it. So I think that's when I started transition, like later in life.
Now, I want to dig into the company and let people know what amazing things that you've built as an entrepreneur. And I know that you've been a speaker. I know you've done some writing yourself. So we'll get into that in the show. Now, beauty is really what you encompass. It's like when people say you set the tone by actually practicing what you preach. And that's something that I saw in you, especially when I met you at that first networking event.
Thank you.
How did you get the inspiration, to get into the beauty industry?
Well, my mother owned salons for many years, and she was in the beauty industry, so I grew up seeing her working doing this. And then I also became a model when I was 14, 15, so I did modeling for many years until I was 26. And I've been around the beauty industry for a long time, but what really motivated me was to work with women and people that have self-esteem problems, because I realized that beauty is really not outside on what you see, it comes within. And that's what really got my attention. I always say I don't sell beauty, I sell self-esteem, and to help women to feel better about themselves, not just in the outside, because usually when you're unhappy with something outside, that means there's something here behind that you're not happy with yourself. So it transfers to that. So really working with people and feeling better about themselves and their self-esteem is what I wanted to do.
That's amazing, and I'm interested on appearance. Like you said, I mentioned, very attractive is a figure like you. How'd you get into modeling? Where'd that start for you?
Oh gosh, that's a long time ago. I was 14. I just like the makeup and the hair and all this beauty in general. That's what I like. And I wanted to try, and the funny thing is I was terrible at the walk and I couldn't do it. I'm sorry, because I was so young. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna do this. And I remember putting high heels at that age and walking and having blisters back and forth for hours until I was able to do it. So my determination, I can see that when I was younger that I wanted to do something, and I actually became very good at it and worked in California, worked here in Florida, and it's something that I really, really enjoyed. It was also kind of a challenge because I had a hard time doing it, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. If the girls here can do it, I can do it too. So it was a challenge.
So you were doing that in Colombia and also in the States?
Yes, in California and then here too.
Awesome. Now, I guess for any models or aspiring models that are listening, what were you teaching them about self-esteem? Or I guess later in your years, you started more speaking to different people about that, what you're selling, which we'll talk about your business. But what were you learning from that experience in the ways of becoming successful in it?
I think one of the learnings was to really not look at everyone else and compare myself to them, because when you go to castings you have all these beautiful women and you're like, oh, am I going to be able to do this? I'm going to make it. And not compare yourself to other people, but really know that you're unique, that there's nobody like you, and that you are different, and that's what makes you so special, that you don't have to look like someone. Because today in society everybody wants to look a certain way, and the reality is being authentic and being yourself. That's the essence, and that's beauty.
I love that. And I want people to hear stuff like that from someone like yourself who, really ended up taking, like you said, the beauty department into your career. Now, let's talk a little bit about that. When was it where you really started to pivot that you wanted to create your own company? You got to the States, you were modeling, and then where did you make the turn into saying, hey, I can build a business out of this department?
I was working, it's actually my daughter, I can say that, my oldest daughter, Catherine. I was working, I had 2 jobs, and it was very challenging, and I was very frustrated because I wanted to do something big, but I felt that I was so limited. And I came home one day and I was crying, and I was like, I don't really like what I'm doing, and I don't know what to do. And she said to me, well, why don't you create your own thing? Do you want to work for somebody else's dream, or do you want to work for your own? And that day it hit me. I'm like, I want to work for my own dream, not for somebody else's. And that's what really changed everything for me.
So let's take some steps forward, and that's powerful that you said that for people who listen and are going to see this out there. It's like, once you made that decision, that commitment, that say, I want to build something for myself and ultimately maybe my family and the world. And I know you built some incredible stuff, and I want to dig into that. Now, what was the first step? What did you first create when you wanted to build on your own?
I actually started teaching. I had a very small place that I had, a very small room where I started teaching. I realized that I had a gift that I could teach people, and they liked when I was doing it. So that was the first step into teaching these treatments and protocols, because I was already an esthetician, and I was able to share with others and help them grow. So that was, I think, the base of everything with my company, with AW Advanced Aesthetic Training, just to teach and coach people.
So let's talk about that advanced aesthetic training. Now, AW Advanced Aesthetic Training is a training program for estheticians to learn how to create or implement those practices into their business. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yes, well, our audience is different. We started with the estheticians, and then as the aesthetics started to grow, then we have now nurses that are transitioning. We have a lot of doctors also that are transitioning their practice into aesthetics. So I wrote over 50 courses myself, and I also had some doctors that work with me, and we wrote some of the classes, and we started teaching them how to do the procedures. And I said, okay, you can learn how to do a procedure, but if you don't have great products, it's not going to be great. We need to have it's all together, works together, good equipment, good products, and good training. And I contacted a company in Europe, and I said, I want to bring your products to the United States, and I want to add it to my practice. So we added the products to the training, and then some of the equipment. So now we offer all the training on the aesthetics and helping with marketing, advertisement, and how to create and grow your menus and your brand and your company. So we coach them to grow their business.
Wow, that's so interesting, because I was studying for a little bit the digital education market, and it's a massive market. It's $1 billion plus market, and realizing that there's so much financial opportunity, but there's also a new way of teaching people virtually. So when you teach people, how does it work? Do they get a membership and then they get access to all those different courses? Explain that type of process.
Yes, so we used to do all the trainings in the center, and because of COVID and all the situation, but actually I'll go back. I created the classes about a year before COVID, but I had them all as a project. I didn't really had them live, and when everything happened, I had already my classes, because I always thought, I don't want to just teach people in Florida. I want to help people in other states and grow the education. So I figured doing the online training would be the way. And that's how I started doing the online training. So now what we're doing, instead of a group of classes where we have a whole bunch of doctors, estheticians that are watching a procedure, we send them some of the information online so they can learn protocols, procedures, contraindications, and then they can watch a short video of how the treatment is performed. Then they set up an appointment to come to our center, and we do a one-on-one where they can practice with one of our educators and they can do the procedure themselves. And I like it this way because when you have a group class, it's hard to see, it's hard to understand, and then you don't really know because it's so new what to ask. Now they come ready with questions, and they know what they're looking for, and they're ready to practice. So they bring a model, and we do it very personalized. I think when it comes to medical and aesthetic treatments, the student should have all the attention, and it's working great for us. And I like it because people are learning more and growing.
That's so cool. So when they come and they get all these types of trainings from you directly, do they get certified after?
Yes, we do give them a certificate that they're being trained, that we're properly trained. And we also help them after they finish the class. We help them with marketing, advertisement, support, anything that they need for life. Because you can learn something, you leave and you forget. And most companies, once you leave, it's over. And I said, it doesn't end here. This is when it starts, because you're going out there and you're starting your business and you're marketing and you're growing, and you need that support, somebody that's there for you. And we feel very alone sometimes in the industry, and just as a business owner, you don't have anybody that says, Danny, you did a great job today, that's great. You just go home and it's like, okay, it's another day. So it's good to be there and help them and coach them.
Yeah, it sounds like you're creating an amazing community also.
Yes.
Of people who they're entrepreneurs, they want to find success in their business, they want to learn the techniques so they can make sure that their clients or patients or customers are happy and satisfied with what they're doing. So you're really creating a positive environment there. Now, who would you say, so people listening, is your target market? Or is it just cosmetologists? Is it estheticians?
We have anybody in the medical or aesthetic industry. That will include cosmetologists, estheticians, medical practitioners, PAs, RNs. It's anybody in medical or aesthetic. It's actually our audience.
Awesome. So anyone out there that if you are interested in this field, this is an amazing place that you can learn and get certified and really start developing your career. So I hope you're enjoying listening thus far. So Adriana, being a business owner, that's pretty interesting. How long have you been doing this though now?
9 years now.
9 years. And it definitely, people understanding you have your ups and downs. You're being able, like you mentioned earlier, no one's really patting you on the back saying good job, but you're still running a high performing business. What are some tips that you can give people out there that allows you to be this successful in your business? What type of trades, what type of styles are you running your business? What's making your business great beyond just the amazing services that you're offering?
Okay, I have a couple of tips. One will be systems, having good systems in place, because when you have good systems, you can run the business efficiently and faster, and you can grow faster. Second is understanding marketing. And that was one of my challenges as a business owner, because it's not my background, and understanding the marketing, because we hire people to do our marketing, and it's like a car mechanic. You give them the car, you give them the paperwork, a check, and you're hoping for the best, knowing what to ask for. And I'm saying, not to go to school, no, I just learned the basics to know what to ask for and grow your business and work with marketing people, because marketing is really everything. So that's important to grow the business. And people, just having a relationship, a building relationship with people, that I really say that my success has been just creating relationship with people. When somebody calls, we go above and beyond. I tell my staff, everybody's a VIP here. Everybody's treated the same. And when they call, we listen, take the time to listen, to help them, to see what is their problem, what can we do to help. And creating that relationship is going to grow the business, because then they feel comfortable. And as a business owner, individually, take care of yourself, because the business cannot grow faster than we can. It's very important that we grow. It goes parallel, your business and yourself. You can't say, I'm going to focus on the business so it can grow and you forget about yourself, or you do self-care and you're taking care of yourself but not the business. It's all parallel. So that to me is very, very important. Hiring a good business coach. Everybody needs coaching. Tiger Woods, golfers, they all need coaching, and have a team. We should have a team too. So I have a team. I have my business coach that helps me with the business. I have a spiritual coach that will help me to stay balanced and in place. And I think those are just things that are important, not to forget about yourself, because we are the business. Without me, there's no business. There's nothing. So number one, take care of yourself.
Yeah, I'm glad that you say that, and it always comes down to being a leader of an organization. You're like the DNA. You really set the tone. You set the standard. And if you're not right, if you're not aligned, then how can you lead people to victory, or at least to the mission at hand?
Exactly.
So I love that you said that. Now, about how many employees do you have?
We have about 7.
7 staff members, and now are they all certified to train also, or they're more helping with the infrastructure of the business?
No, we have different areas. So we have our education department, and then we have our shipping department, because we also have products. We represent 2 lines from Europe, Exception Pills and Fusion Mesotherapy. We're the only distributor in the United States. So we have a department that handles all of the shipping, and they send to our United States all the products. They're beautiful, medical graded, so great products. And those are basically the 2 that we have. Then within the education, we have the educators. We have a person that is the coordinator on admissions. We have someone who does support. It's always there to help. So there's different areas that help the company, run smoothly for us.
And like you said earlier, I mean, there's definitely a lot of parts of the business, like you're mentioning there. It's like, what are some challenges that business owners might have to foresee that you've overcome in a business per se?
Okay, employees, managing employees. I think a lot of people can relate to that. And managing employees, and the way I did it, because it's hard, it's people, everybody's different, just learning and understanding that everybody has a different personality, and you can treat, this person the same as this, because they may have the personality D or A, they're different. And that was a part that was a challenge. So learning how to do that, but mainly just being an example. I'm a very hands-on, I call it. I'm very involved in my business, and I always there to give them the support and create that relationship and always build them up. We do trainings not just on products or what we have. We also get together and we watch inspirational stuff, things that makes us grow as people, and they're not just my employees. I say, you're my team. We work together. So the way was to learn with my business coach and to really get to know everyone and how they work and how they think, and being able to connect, and that's just how I did it.
That's a great point, because if you can understand what makes your employees tick, or what their goals and their dreams are, you really know how to guide them, or at least how they handle adversity, what's a way to speak to them. So that way, if some person needs a little bit of a push from behind, or some people needs a hug, it's to understand how to consult with them so they get the best version out of them.
Absolutely.
Would you agree with stuff like that?
Absolutely, and just being there for them, that they're not alone in whatever they need. I'm here. I'm always available. I like to be available because I want them to be supported, even to feel supported. Even my marketing team, they always know I'm a phone call away. I'm available. And again, self-care. I try to be in a great mood, be supportive, be at peace, calm. All these things are important to communicate with your employees. If you're a business owner and you're running, you're stressed, you're never around, you don't know what you're doing, it's just going to transfer that to your employees, and they're not going to work efficiently. So keeping everything in harmony with them, it just keeps everything in harmony with the business. Without them, I always tell them, without them, why am I here?
Gold nuggets, that's what we call it on this show, is when you tell people things that they really need to absorb, especially if they want to be a business owner one day. That's a great tip, so I appreciate you saying stuff like that. Which leads me into the delegation. It's something that's very difficult, even for myself. Sometimes, like you said, we're very hands-on. We want to take it ourselves because we know that we're going to get it done properly, but you have to instill the trust in others, of course. So what's some tips, or how do you view delegating in business?
Another interesting topic, because when I delegate, something is something that I already know how to do, and I know what to expect. So I can sit with my employee and I know how to do it and say, okay, this is what we're doing. This is how I want it done. These are my expectations. A lot of people delegate just everything and without even knowing. So really understanding what is the purpose, what is your expectation, and what is it that you're delegating, and having the communication with your employee to understand and that they know, what you're expecting. So that's really important of delegating, and not just handing your work to someone and expect that it's going to get done just the way you want it. That just doesn't work.
Awesome, because I say the same thing in business. It's like, I'll never tell you what to do unless I've done it myself.
Amen.
So,
Absolutely.
and
That's the secret of delegating.
it really is, because and you hit the nail on the head earlier saying that you know what to expect, you know how to get it done, so that way you can set the standard.
Exactly.
If not, when different leaders who come in with let's say big egos or act like they know it all, and because they've already been there and they just throw it out there, but they never picked up the phone themselves. I've endured stuff
Exactly.
like that. I'm not calling anyone out directly, but
But it's true.
It's very true, and do you have an executive team that you formed with your business, or is it just you as the hierarchy and then your management?
I am the hired, yeah,
Okay.
definitely the management, and everybody. It's different because we talked earlier about superstars.
Yeah.
You were asking me who's your superstar,
Mhm.
and I think everybody on their own way and what they do, they're my superstars, because everybody has something different and they bring something different to the table. So that's how I have my team, and I oversee, because I'm the visionary. I know what I want. I have a vision of the company, and then I share with everyone else, and then together we can come together and make it happen. That's really important, to share your vision, because if you have a vision of your business and what you want, but you don't tell your employees, everybody's working in different directions. So I am the visionary, I am the top person, and then everybody else I share, and I feed everyone with the information and what I'm expecting.
Yeah, because then people they can run towards something when they know what the goals at hand.
Mm-hmm.
And are you setting different goals for your company weekly, monthly? How do you handle that?
Well, we do have monthly. I look at every month, the past year, because we want to obviously increase sales and be better. But also we do it yearly. At the end of the year, we have our plans and goals of what we're going to do. But don't wait until the end of the year. You got to keep your eye on your business. I mean, you can do it monthly. Some people do it quarterly. But this way, if you're behind, you have some time to catch up, because you're knowing early right now that versus you wait until the end of the year and you have no time if you need to increase your sales or you need to market or do something. So taking care of the business every month, every quarter, for me it's monthly. Every month I like to know where I'm at, where I was the last month, and where I need to be for the year. So it's easy, because then you have the whole year. If you need to make any changes, or if it's low and you need to do something about it, you have time.
Now, when you were mentioning earlier how the process of the business works, let's say for the product, do you do monthly in-person events, or is it most of it online, and then they can schedule when they come and get trained by your team?
Yes, we're doing, when it comes to trainings, we're doing that ongoing. So they can come anytime, because they get all the materials email, they learn, and then they can book an appointment and come to see us. And then we're doing ongoing. Usually we do Mondays and Fridays. Those are our days for trainings, because we have a lot of people from out of state or out of the country. So Friday, it's a great day. They fly in, take the trainings, leave for the weekend. And then we have the people like the estheticians that work Saturdays. They're off on Mondays, so they have time. So we try to accommodate everybody.
So, and earlier you mentioned that you have physical products also, that you're the exclusive distributor to the United States. How long have you been working with those products, and do you sell those products directly online, or do you also place them in your customer stores?
Yes, we have been working with them about 6 years. These two brands is the same manufacturer, same chemist, who's brilliant and has great chemistry. And we sell it to the spas, medical offices throughout the United States, and we have a shipping department, so we ship from here, from Florida, all over, and it goes directly to them. And we also have the end users, but they are mainly purchasing from our accounts.
How do you like adding that aspect? Did it help with your revenues and your goals, having finished products also?
Yes, absolutely, because treatments are great, and you can make money, absolutely, but you also need something else to complement, and that's going to be products, because you can do treatments and beautiful things, but if they don't use the right products at home, the skin is not going to look great, because they're going to use products that may not be suitable for the skin. So it works hand in hand, because with the trainings I have the products to use, and also for the accounts they can sell to their clients when they're using the products on them, and it definitely increased revenue for us in the business. And I don't really, it's funny, I don't work for money, but I work for people, and my main goal was to bring something that they can use and they can retail to their clients, instead of having your client buy it somewhere else. And just you're the therapist. When you go to any other store, in a department store, they're going to sell you what's the product of the month, and it's for everybody. As a therapist, as an aesthetic consultant, you can actually their skin, and you know what they need, and you can really give them the products that are going to be suitable for their skin. So that's why I wanted to bring that, and it just works great. It's all together. It's a synergy.
And talking about like dermatologists per se, they are more focused on like the health of the skin per se, and then your department's more focused on like the aesthetic plus the health. How would you compare that industry?
It's actually similar, and because it works hand in hand, you have to have beautiful, healthy skin in order to do treatments. I always give this example. I have older people, let's just say 60s and 70s, that have a lot of Botox and fillers, and they look just like that, right? Like a 60 or 70-year-old person full of Botox. And then we have people that have very healthy skin, because as you say, they take care of their skin and it's healthy and glowy and young, and they don't even really need the Botox and the fillers. So it's hand in hand. You gotta have both. The Botox and fillers will help to recreate some of the loss of volume that we have on the skin, but the quality of the skin is key. It's very important, because that's what gives you that youth, to have a good skin. That goes hand in hand.
Yeah, no, that's something that I definitely need some of your products, and probably some extra things on top. But
no, you don't. You look fantastic. You look amazing.
Well, I just turned 30, so we'll see.
Good for you.
We'll see what's next for the skin. But no, I definitely obviously agree with what you're doing. I believe that everybody should be realizing, like, especially for speakers or different people out there getting in front of the camera, they're going to want to make sure that they have a healthy looking skin. People have that judgment, but then you said it is usually that internal beauty will then shine on the outside. So
yeah, and interesting you talk about being a speaker and being on the cameras. Now Zoom, which is new, it's been a big boom, and what I see in the industry has changed. Unfortunately, we're going through very tough times because of COVID and everything that's happening. For our industry, it's gotten busier than before. And I really think that because people now have Zoom and they can see themselves and their wrinkles and their lines, and they don't like it, so it's creating a whole shift and change where people now are going to get more plastic surgery. Right now, plastic surgeons are completely busy and booked. You can't get an appointment, because now they're seeing all their flaws, like you said, in the camera, because you have Zoom, you're doing all these videos and social media. So that has impacted our industry, because now people want to change their appearance and their look. So it's really growing a lot, the aesthetic and anti-aging industry.
And I know we were talking about earlier, marketing is a big aspect in your business for people to realize, like, your service is available, and I think it's amazing. Now, what do you do for that to get your business exposure? Are you focusing on online, of the social media? Are you focusing on SEO? How do you get people to get the eyes on your service?
Yeah, definitely the marketing, because you can be the best at what you do, but if you don't know how to obtain clients, and especially retention, which is really important, and retain your clients, then it's very hard to grow. We do a lot of social media, we do a lot of e-blasts, we do a lot of trade shows, SEO, of course, our website. We're very active. Everything digital works very well for us.
Awesome, yeah. It seems like, and that's what I mentioned earlier, that the digital education, like, it's so cool that you saw that before COVID, because it exploded after COVID. I was looking at it before also, but for you to have that eye as a visionary to say, hey, this is a need. and then you went ahead and attacked it. So I definitely commend you on that. So what do
Thank
you
you.
see with the growth of your company and whatnot? Like what can we expect for the vision in the next couple of years?
Yes, so right now my education is here in the United States, and as I said before, I always think about growing and reaching out to people and just helping around the world. And I'm working on Spanish classes. I speak Spanish, obviously, so I'm thinking about that. I'm working on it. I already have some of the materials to expand the education to South America and other countries where women are overseen sometimes, or they don't have the opportunities that we have here. That's why they say, this is the land of money and beauty and everything, and they don't have the opportunities, and they don't have opportunities. So I like to really get to those countries where they don't have these available, and most of the countries don't. I don't know why, but they don't have it. So that's my vision for that, just to continue to grow and expand education to different countries.
Awesome. So does anybody can access your videos online? They don't have to go to the physical training, correct?
Correct, as long as they have a license,
As long as
a
they have a
professional
license.
license.
And approximately, how much does a course like what you sell cost for people listening?
It runs between 300 to maybe 700, the most expensive.
That's affordable,
Yeah, it is
especially
affordable.
if you're just learning all the different techniques. You talk about products, techniques, and different ways to run the business.
Yeah, the way I see it, when we're teaching a class for a procedure, I say, well, how many procedures do you need to get your return back? You need 2 or 3 basically procedures, and then after that, you're making money. And we help them to make money right away. So we give them all the tools to start working. So when somebody's gonna take a class and they register, I said, okay, your homework is to start marketing, advertising, and have 3 or 4 clients. When we finish, I want you to work, because then those clients are going to be paying back for your investment, and you start making money right away. So we teach them techniques of how to start making money immediately. So it's really not a big investment.
Yeah.
And they can really grow their practice.
It's worth every penny and more, and pays them back times 10 what they're learning. So no, that's amazing stuff, man. And that digital education, it's not going to stop growing. It's people are looking for it all the time. So any people out there that are inspired by what Adriana is saying, I'd love for you to check out her website and see how they could go ahead and learn the industry if they're certified, of course. So you're pretty much you're a consultant.
Yes, I'm actually certified as an aesthetic consultant.
Wow, and that's what people I think want me to understand, is that you've been doing this over 9 years. You understand this industry. You understand one, the genuineness of what you want to do to make someone happy on the other side, and the other side of it, what I'm saying is not genuine, but it's business. Understand the business economics of it, and that's why you can help people. They don't have to go through the hurdles that you went through. They don't have to go through all that. They go and they can learn through your course.
Exactly, that's the whole idea, that I'm here to help you. You're not alone. If you need help, you need support, you have questions, just reach out. I don't charge for any of that. I just want you to grow, and I want to help. It's not like I'm gonna, well, if you talk to me, I want to charge you. I tell all my accounts, just call me and ask me. Send me your resume. Little things like a resume that people create, and they send and they call me and they said, Adriana, I'm not getting work. I don't know what's going on. I have this girl. I said, just send me your resume. We redid it. I said, we need to change some things, and she got a job. So it's little things that we don't get that assistance and that support anywhere. So everything that I went through, it kind of, for me, it makes it worth all the challenges that I went through, because now I get to share with other people and say, you know what, I went through the same thing. You're not alone. You may be great and you're opening a spa and you're an esthetician, a nurse, but the business is a whole different animal, right? Running a business is completely different than doing facials or treatments, and this is where I come in to just help you and support you and help you practice.
I love that. And it really, from knowing you and hearing you more speaking today, it's like you're a great mentor. You can be someone who's, whether a guy or girl, can look up to you, really learn from you as a business owner, one, for the industry that you're an expert in, and then also in life. And that's what I'm sensing. So I love people like that, because the world, sometimes when you make it to the top, some people don't really care to help others, and you're someone who really does care.
Yes, it's all about people, and that's what drives me. And so this is what we're here for. Sometimes people don't want to help, or like you said, they become arrogant, or things happen, or the money, bro. I want to stay as humble as possible in my life and connected, everything I do with higher power, and just be connected and always the essence of who I am. Never forget that, and be able to mentor people, not on a way of I'm here and you're here, but we're here. We can do this together. I'm with you. I'm the same. I'm not better than you.
Yeah, I definitely see you doing more of that. Have you done speaking in other conventions or different companies before? Or?
Yes, I have for aesthetics, in teachings and conventions for beauty. I have done that. And it's a gift that I have, really. And I really enjoy doing it.
Yeah, and it leads me to really knowing more about you as a person, and understanding like how do you manage. I mean, being a business owner, and what be maybe more raw here is like you have to manage a lot of aspects of your life. You're also a mother, you're a daughter to somebody. Have to be able to be a friend, and I don't know if you're married, and then it comes down to the fact of just like how do you balance different arenas of your life.
Yes, I'm not married. I'm divorced. I have two kids, and I have a business, so I have a life. There's a lot going on in my life, and the way that I balance is by staying present. That's one of the things that are important. When I'm running the business, I am running the business. I'm not thinking, well, my daughter, or, they're older now, so they're not in school, but my daughter needs this, so I have to do this at home. Really to be in the moment, like I'm here with you and enjoying the time. So if I'm working, just being at work. If I'm home, disconnecting from work and really spending time with my children or my boyfriend or whatever, or being a mom, because I'm sorry, being a daughter, being with my mom. So being present in that moment and not let your mind go to other places, and that brings a sense of calmness because you're not stressing yourself thinking. We're always thinking about what we have to do. Even if we were here, a lot of people may have a hard time talking to you because they're thinking, oh, I have to do this tomorrow, or I have to do that, or something that already passed. Oh, when I did this. And practicing being present, it's not easy. It's a practice, but the more you practice every day, it becomes a lifestyle. And that's how I balance and taking care of myself. Self-care, I get massages. I do a lot of things for myself, whatever makes me happy. If I feel like I want to just treat myself to a nice dinner and being alone, because I like also to have my alone time, and have a glass of wine because I deserve it. I work hard and I have my children and I can do these things. So always treat yourself as you want to be treated. And I practice that, and it keeps me in a very peaceful place. Plus I have a therapist that I work with, and I like that because mental health is really important to me, to be balanced and just work through those challenges with somebody that's professional and is higher than me, versus me sitting there and trying to do it all, run the business, the kids, the family. I'm having a mental breakdown because it's a lot. So just having mentors and people above you that will help you grow and understand. A good support system is very important.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. And it seems like that you're open to open to receiving help or support around you when realizing sometimes you don't have to go through life alone through the most amazing times or the most difficult times in your life. You brought up mental health and, being a business owner, and also, being a woman business owner. Sometimes, I'm a very open-minded person, never look at colors, never look at religion or sex and whatnot. More just about the human being. But what's your views on mental health, and have you had to overcome things in your life before that people can understand?
Absolutely. I think that we all have gone through some type of trauma in our life. I really believe that. And for me, mental health is very, very important, because if I'm not centered, then I can't be a good mom. I can be a good business owner. And I had a daughter that I had a lot of challenges with a couple of years ago. And I was trying to get her help. And this is really interesting as a mother, trying to get her help. And I ended up working with the therapist she was working with because I liked what happened. And it started completely changing me as a person and changing the way I think, because as you say, businesswoman, cultural, come from South America, from another country, so there's a lot of challenges. I also come from abuse, and this is something I'm sharing here for the first time, but I'm very open about it. Abuse and trauma when I was younger, so I had to overcome all those challenges. And it's great that you don't see that, you're a woman or you're not a woman, but you'll be surprised. In business, sometimes it's challenging because I walk in a room and there's a lot of men and it's business. And kind of, not that they don't take you seriously, but at the beginning it's very relaxed, and then once you get their attention, then they're like focused on the business. So it is very challenging in dealing with my own personal stuff, from that. And then somebody asked me one day, so how is it with your daughter now? I said, it's great. We have the best relationship ever. And she had a therapy, so I joined her therapy session one time, and I really liked it. And I ended up working with a therapist because she worked with someone else, and doing all the work and working through my own personal trauma, because as parents we want to find them therapies, we want to do this, we want to do that, because we think they are the problem. And I realized that really I was the problem, and I had to work on myself, and I had to do all these things, and our relationship improved after that. So somebody asked me, 2 3 years later, fast forward, how's your relationship with your daughter now? I said, it's great, we get along fantastic. And they said, what changed? And I said, I changed. So changing the way I think, and again, cultural as well, the way I think, the way I communicate, learning to be vulnerable and to be able to share your feelings and your emotions, and being a parent. So trying to balance running a business, being a business owner, being a woman, being taken seriously, and on top of that, working with the own trauma that I had. And this is why I'm so passionate about mental health, because abuse is not okay, and abuse can come in so many forms. It's not just physical, it could be verbal. And we are in 2022, and unfortunately, there are so many women out there that are still experiencing trauma and abuse. And that is very, very sad, because it's not okay. And I'm a big advocate of mental health.
Now, out of curiosity, is you don't want to, like you said, suppress it, and it's okay to talk about. Now, what ways are the professionals or people who gave you support, how do they help you get through that type of stuff when you talk about it? What type of pointers are you learning in there?
Really, the work, they give you the tools. You do the work. So we have to do the work. They're going to tell us what to do, and then we do the work. It's really us. It's not what they do, because they can tell you what are the steps. They can say, well, we're going to work on this today, or we're going to talk about your trauma. Learning to be vulnerable and talking about it, because we all have shame. We have shame around it. And realize that it's okay. It's society makes it like so difficult to talk about any of these topics, and women especially are scared because they feel they're going to be judged, and again, they have shame around it. And it's really being willing to make a change and realize that I'm better, because that hurts your self-esteem. And for me, coming from abuse, I didn't believe in myself. I didn't think I could ever do the things that I have done, to the point that I experienced imposter syndrome. And I didn't even know what that was until, my own daughter explained to me, this is what's happening, because I couldn't see my worth. I couldn't see who I was. And one of my other daughter, my youngest, wrote me a card one day for my birthday and said, I wish you could see in yourself what everybody else sees. And that hit me. So just working through those challenges, that we can do anything, that we're not less than anybody. But again, coming from abuse, that happens often, and working through all those challenges. So I guess the answer to your question is, they will give you the tools, but you are the one who's going to do the work. The therapist will tell you, what to do, and the things that you can, but it's really for you to be ready and say, okay, enough. I don't want to live this life anymore. There's better out there.
Yeah, you really want to, out of spirituality and, being able to attract the frequencies and manifest, per se, your visions. The only way you'll really be able to get there is that you have to align with it and know that it's possible, and believe in it. And if not, if you half-heartedly believe in it, you're not bringing that frequency or that vibration to actually reach your goals and dreams. Is that something that you would agree with?
Yes, it's the law of attraction. You attract who you are. And when we change, everything changes around us. So your frequency, as your frequency goes higher, and then you're going to attract people at the same frequency. So I hear a lot of women, or a lot of people sometimes, they say, well, I can't find what I want. I don't know. I'm looking for someone to share the rest of my life with. I want somebody spiritual. I want somebody, loving, kind, all these things. And then I ask them, but, are you any of those things? No. So you're not going to attract. So absolutely, you attract greatness. You attract wonderful people. You attract, if you're at peace, you're going to attract people that are at peace. If you're successful, you're going to attract people that are in success. If you are broken, if you don't believe in yourself, if you're unhappy, you're going to attract exactly who you are. So becoming your better self, it's really the key to changing everything in your life.
Yeah, I like what you said earlier too about like consistency, because once you consistently start doing something, it builds a habit. Once you build that habit, it becomes second nature. And once it's second nature, then you realize like you are that person. You don't have to
Right.
think about it.
Exactly.
You can just be. And it really shows who you are, and talking to you today of like understanding like why you've reached such a high level of success is because one, I mean, you have this drive and ambition, but you're also willing to become the person that you wanted to be to attract the life that you're living now.
Yeah, you're a co-creator of your life. You can create anything you want. It's just about waking up and saying, okay, how, if you're gonna move, for example, you're gonna move somewhere and say, how do I wanna live my life? What do I wanna see through my window when I wake up? Do I wanna see the water? Do I wanna see the city? What is it that I want? And you can create exactly how you wanna live every day of your life. We're co-creators. And we have that power and manifestation and manifesting and thinking big. Always, don't limit yourself, because the limitation is usually fear. Fear paralyzes you and will not let you move forward. So just not allowing anything negative. Anytime that I have, because it happens, I'm human, negative thoughts, I said, no, I'm not going to think about that. I'm great, I'm better, I'm good. I have all these great things. And I say that to myself every day. And if you listen to yourself all the time, and eventually you become all those things.
I love that. Thanks for saying that, Adriana. Now, you've become such a high performer. You built such these great habits. You have such this beautiful mindset. Now, do you have routines? As a person.
Absolutely.
Could you explain a little bit about that?
Yes, so I typed it, which is really funny, and I put it in my fridge. So sometimes people come to visit and they smile, they go, is this what you do every day? But again, I don't care about judgment. So I just put it on my fridge, and I have my routine because I don't want to forget. And then I have one in my mirror. I used to have, I don't have it right now, but something that worked for me was to have affirmations in all over my house. So anywhere I go, I had something positive to read, and just having consistency, but mainly it's discipline. So to wake up, I wake up, I do my prayer because I'm connected, I'm a Christian, so God comes first in my life always, because without Him, I wouldn't be balanced and I wouldn't have all the things that I have. Or whatever you call it, greater or higher power. So actually I wake up, I do my meditation, which is really important, go to the gym, prayer, eat healthy. I have all my supplements, my vitamins and everything that I need. And at night, dinner, I read my Bible. I have my appointments with my therapist or coaches or whatever it is throughout the week, and everything goes on the calendar, because a lot of people don't find the time for themselves. Oh, I don't have time because again, you're running a business. I don't have time. And it's really making time and put it on your calendar. Make yourself a priority. Just like you put, I have a meeting on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. I have to go to the gym. And then you put it on your calendar and you make it part and a priority in order to have that discipline. And then eventually it becomes habit and it becomes a lifestyle. And having a structure in life is very important. Otherwise, for me, I just feel very scattered. I feel very unbalanced. And just having a vision of what my life is every day gives me peace, because you have everything in order.
Yeah, organization and your discipline, and really just you don't have any chaos, it sounds like.
Well, I do, of course. I'm human, but not created by me. And when it comes from other sources, I address it quickly, because then it's gonna get into my energy field. But really, Danny, when you are at a certain place of your life where you're happy and everything is peaceful, you do attract the same people. You attract the same, and when it doesn't feel good, I say listen to your intuition. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Don't let it come into your life, because you have the power. Even people, oh well, I feel bad for that person, this person. I always think, of course it's great to have compassion, but I always think that whoever is in your phone, those contacts, you're going to become that. So I periodically also look at my contacts on my phone, because you want to just be surrounded by great people. And of course we do help others, because that's something that I do by nature. I love trying to support and help others. I got a certification as a peer support specialist, and I work with trauma people, and I like to help them. It's just to be there and support them and listen to them. But when it comes to your life and your daily routine, you need to stay strong. If you're doing some type of outreach or helping someone, in your in your life, just have a strong group of people behind you always, that if you're falling, they're going to pick you up, they're going to help you, they're going to encourage you. And that's very important. Always have people above you.
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of different great quotes before. I mean, one I've heard is 33% rule. 33% of the people you should be being mentored by. 33% of the people your life should be on your level.
Yes.
And then 33% of people you should be mentoring.
Absolutely.
And I've
I like
also seen, heard you're a product of your environment, and sounds like you, and also you're judged by the friends you keep. And I think these are just a matter, or you're a product of your environment, but you're a product of the X amount of people closest to you. So like you're a reflection of them. So I see it. You're hitting so many key notes there that people definitely will learn so much from. So I appreciate when you say stuff like this, is because you're not speaking things that aren't going to enhance people's life. You're not speaking things that are going to enhance people's life. You're speaking things that are really beneficial to people's lives. So, I appreciate you saying this stuff out loud, because you're going to help a lot of people one day when this is, reaching millions of people's ears or eyes. So, it leads me to another question about like the bigger picture, like this life is. Do you have like a so-called life purpose defined?
Yes. My purpose is to make a difference in someone's life every day if I can. I focus on that, whatever it is, whatever that looks like. I'm always at service. I'm always here to, I'm open to do whatever it takes to be able to support someone. So my purpose, I always said, is just to be there and support others through whatever they are. Always go, how can I help you? What can I do? Always be at service. And that's the purpose of my life.
And also, when it comes down to like the chapters, like do you define like different chapters of your life, and you look back a lot, or are you always looking forward? I know you mentioned earlier about just being in the moment, which I think is amazing advice. What's your thoughts on viewing the chapters of life?
That's a good question. I don't really look a lot back in my life. I move forward, because when I look back, I feel that it holds me back. I do, and when I do, I look at the challenges and the lessons. Basically, I don't see the negativity. One day I said I'm never going to look at good, bad, or negative or positive. It's all just going to be good, goodness, and nothing negative. And just learning the lessons. If I think of something in my past, instead of thinking about how terrible it was or how painful it was, I just think of like, wow, how much I grew from it. Because anything that happens in my life, I always said, is part of the story. Nobody got here and said, oh, well, you know what, I opened AW and the next day I had 200 students and I grow and I'm a millionaire and I'm here. It doesn't happen that way. It's really through the challenges that we grow and that we learn. And I'm so thankful for everything that happened before, even even the abuse. It's interesting because I always said I would not be the person I am today if it wasn't for all those challenges and all those times that I lived. And I used to say, well, I didn't like the person I was back then because I allowed someone to mistreat me. But then I learned to embrace that woman that helped this woman be here and grow, because I am both. That woman and this woman. So I'm both. And just embracing that person and learning from whatever happened in the past without really sitting there dwelling on, oh, I went through this, I went through that. Just the lessons, just learn the lessons and say, you know what, it's like a book, chapters. It's just part of the story, and the whole story is beautiful because I grew from it and I didn't die, and so many things could have happened to me. And I have a beautiful family. I have beautiful children that I love with all my heart, a great family. I have great people around me, and I have a business now that I've been blessed that I have. So generally everything that happened is what got me here. So I embrace it. And the future, I don't really think much about the future because again, it takes away from being present. Of course, I have visions, but I always say ultimately it's what God wants for my life, and I'm just here to serve and do the right thing. And every day I come to work and I said, okay, what are we doing today? It's about today, because we don't have control. As much as we want to control everything, we have no control. And I think we've seen it now with these times, that we cancel everything on the daily basis. Everything is canceled. It just goes like this. So it's really navigating through life and being here today, because all we have is this moment. right now that we're spending together that I'm enjoying very much.
Such
The connection we have.
Such wise words, and I hear a lot of gratitude in that. I hear someone who's very humble, even through different successes, and also having a sense of humility. And one thing I want to point out that I've had to overcome being vulnerable is being bitter. When things are happen to you, or usually I say it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a matter of that you didn't grow bitter. You went back, like you said, you had to work through some things so that you didn't hold on to it, or you were being a person you didn't want to actually be anymore. Like you said, be better for your children. And I really want to say that's amazing that you're able to work through it, grow from it, and not really use it as a lesson and part of you, like not just it might become a scar or whatnot, but you love the scar. It's not, but you're not dwelling on it. You're not saying I'm this way because of this and that circumstance. I think people need to hear that.
Yeah, we can blame life and everything for everything that happens because we don't take accountability. That we have to take accountability because also we make choices in life, and it's about being okay with making mistakes because we're human. And some people have a hard time. Oh, I don't know if it's gonna go right. If I go, imagine as a business owner, if I was like, am I gonna do it? Can I do it? Can I not? And just going with it. And it's a decision. I always said, oh, I made a bad decision. It's not bad or good. It's a decision that we make. It's just a decision. It just can go either way. If it doesn't work, then it's an elimination process, and it doesn't work, then you move forward. So we can't stay in bitterness and in the past because ultimately it's poison for our hearts and for ourselves. And it's gonna hold us back, and we can't grow if we stay in that low energy field and having those negative emotions in your heart. So what's the alternative? The alternative is to just choose. It's a choice. Choose to live a happy life and a peaceful life. It's a choice. Or you can choose to stay in bitterness, and that's not healthy. And you're not going to be a great business owner. You're not going to be a great mom. You're not going to be a great wife. We're not going to do all of those things. You can't offer that because you give what you have. And if you have bitterness, that's what you're going to give. If you have peace and love, that's what you're going to give to your family and what you love, and your employees and your customers. See, it all goes together. If you are, well, it goes to everybody. So whatever I'm not one person in my business, one at home, one here with you. I'm the same person.
So Adriana, that I heard also that you're a woman of faith. You say you wake up every morning with prayer. And what's your views on spirituality? I know that's more like a taboo thought, whether it's meditation or realizing that alignment or the laws of attraction. Where's your mindset with the word spirituality?
Well, there's religion, right? Because you said I'm very spiritual in religion. So religion, and whatever religion is, because again, I'm Christian, but I feel that religion tells you what to do, but they don't really tell you the whys. You don't kill, you don't steal, you don't do all those things, which is great because it's part of my Christianity. But spirituality really tells you the why not. If you kill, there's a law that whatever you give is going to come back to you, and that's why you don't do it per se. So for me, it goes hand in hand, and I do both. So people ask me, are you very religious? Actually, my boyfriend said, well, am I dating somebody very religious? And I said, I wouldn't call myself religious. I call myself spiritual because I know that why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. I'm not just following certain rules, because for me it's important to know why. Even for my business, when I tell somebody to do something, I tell them the why. But the whys are very important. It makes no sense.
Yeah, and thanks for saying that too, because it's all about, like you said, if you feel what you feel within or what you're thinking within, you're going to attract it in your life. And that's why I feel like you've been able to build such a successful business this past decade. And it has to do with a lot of that mentality, that positivity, that drive, that vision, that we're going to get to this destination in mind because I believe in it. And it all paid off for you. So do you have some tips for a younger person listening when it comes down to life and business?
Absolutely. And I have 2 daughters, and this is something that we talk about. And I was telling my daughter the other day that it's amazing when you're a child and people ask you, what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to be a doctor. I want to be an astronaut. They come up with all these things and they're fearless. Or when they call their dad and said, I want to jump in the pool, and they just go head first, and it's like, wait. And they are just fearless. They can do anything because they're so young. What happened? We grew up and suddenly we don't think we can become doctors. We don't think we can jump in that pool. We don't think we can do any of these things that we thought and believed that we could do when we were younger. In society, politics, religion, people change the way we think because we don't when we're young we don't think that way. So my advice, and I don't really give advice because it comes with a lot of responsibility. I always said my opinion on this topic will be that don't let anybody tell you you can't do something. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not going to be able to do it. And don't let your mind go to those places because you can do absolutely anything in life. And that is the number one thing when you're young. Don't grow up with these beliefs and limitations. Don't have fear. Believe. So the opposite of fear is faith. Have faith in yourself, believe in yourself, and have faith. That's why I believe that believing in a higher power other than yourself is so important. And I never feel alone. Somebody asked me, I had times where I was very alone in my life and I didn't have anyone, and asked me, do you feel lonely? I said never, because I always say I have God. You always have a higher power. So having that higher power is really important. So believe in something. Don't let anybody stop you. Don't fear anything, and just do it, and just know that there's no right or wrong. It's just gonna be a choice. And if it doesn't work, then now you know it doesn't work. And it may work, and what if? And fear stops you from being wonderful and doing great things and just growing in your life. So that's what I tell my kids, and I would tell younger people, follow your dreams. Don't give up, ever. And this is how I'm here. My business failed. I'm not gonna say I opened and I did great. Hey, I got sick. I closed 3 times. I had RA and I ended up with depression for 3 months. I've gone through so many challenges, and I woke it up. And sometimes my family would say, just close. It's a lot of work. I'm doing it. And I never gave up. Don't have an exit plan. Don't have a plan B. Just have your vision and go for it. Because if you have an exit plan, you're never going to get to that vision. So that's what I would tell younger people.
I've had a lot of great people on this show, and now you're another one of them. And they've definitely expressed that about burning the ships, which is a metaphor for like there's no plan B, there's no going back. And it's what you believe. And of course, you can course correct sometimes, or sometimes you're gonna knock on the right door and something else will open. But everyone keeps going forward no matter what. And really appreciate that type of advice. And you mentioned fear, and you lead with faith. And have a friend, people might know the name of Pitbull, and he would tell you face everything and rise. That fear is an acronym to him. So it's really interesting you saying all that, and a testament to why you're where you're at today by giving such great advice to myself and to people listening. So, which really have 1 or 2 remaining questions for you, Adriana. Is brought up earlier about happy. I like to ask business owners or just people themselves. It's like, what do you define happy? Are you like, what's happiness to you?
Okay, happiness is found within yourself, within myself. If I find happiness in things, in a car, in a business, in anything material, and I lose that, I'm gonna lose my happiness. Having happiness within myself, being happy with who I am, where I'm at in life, the things I've accomplished, the mistakes I've made. Just being happy with all of that is really the definition of happiness. And when you wake up in the morning and you just don't know why, but you're happy, that is true happiness. Not because I have this or I have that. That's just not happiness. And finding a partner that will add to your happiness. I hear a lot of people saying, I would like to find someone that will make me happy. And I have a hard time with that statement because the happiness is within ourselves, and finding people, whether it's your partner, friends, family, business, that will add on to that happiness, it's really important. So that's my definition of happiness, being happy with everything, with the good, with the bad, with the negative, with the positive, with what you've gone through, with the challenges, to who you are. whether it's good or bad. Because sometimes we judge ourselves. Oh, I'm not strong enough. I'm at the gym. I can't do that. I'm not good. Just be happy with who you are. You'll get there. It's okay. I'm good. I had a good day. And just having that positive mind every day and just saying, that's why I living in appreciation and being thankful. Gratitude is number one for happiness. Every day, just be happy. My first prayer when I wake up, I say thank you. And this is every day. Thank you because I can hear, I can smell, I can walk. All the little things in life that are really not the small things in life. These are really the big things in life. And when you are thankful for your life, you wake up happy because you realize how much you have.
And it's true. It really is true. And words are powerful, like you said before. And I tell people, be careful. You spell words. So every word that you spell is a spell. So make sure you're speaking positively, making sure you're not putting spells against yourself in the language you speak. And I like how you're neutral when if you're not where you want to be. You don't have to say, "Oh, I'm looking like this," or "I'm not here." You're on the path, and you're giving yourself. But when you have to truly believe it, you can't just fake it. And I think that's something. So, and now I mentioned earlier, I know now, I don't believe, I know that you're a great mentor to others and whatnot. Now, do you recommend any books or movies or other people that you think that anyone listening should be reading or listening to?
Yeah, I want to recommend a few things. Listening to podcasts. When you're driving time, it's gold for me, because driving time, you have no distractions, there's no one, most likely in your car when you're going to work on a long trip. So listening to podcasts, to me, it's really, really important. Just find a topic. There are great speakers, there's so many of them, and spiritual people that you can listen to. And sometimes even people you don't know, you put a topic of something that's of your interest, or you want to grow, you want to learn. Relationships, Matthew Hussey, which I love, he's great. Tony Robbins, of course, is fantastic. Just anyone that you can listen to that will inspire you. And sometimes I find people, I don't even know them, but they have just great messages. Reading books. If you're not a reader, there's applications that you can get that you can listen to. There's one that's really funny that only gives you a 15-minute version of the book. It's really, but you know what? If you're not a reader, it works. I've used it. I was curious about it, and it works. And then books, just find books of your interest, and in different areas. Personal, how to manage relationships, business, and your own personal growth. So without just giving names, because there are so many people that are wonderful, just on those 3 topics, so you can grow in every area of your life. And just listen to it. Take a minute. If you listen to church, which is great also. I don't know what religion, if you have a religion or beliefs, that's really important. It's important to feel your soul. Just like you wake up and have breakfast and have lunch and put your clothes on, it's important to feed your soul and your mind. Same thing. It's balance.
Gems and gold nuggets, that's what we say, guys. So I really appreciate you coming on the show, Adriana. We learned so much from you today about yourself, about the business, about who you are, and where you're going. And that leads me to my final question of the show. I like to ask people, what can we expect of Adriana Wroth over the next decade? What do we see for the business, AW Advanced Aesthetics Training, the beauty, the skincare line that you distribute? Where's the vision for yourself and your business over the next decade?
That's a great question. For the business, so it's good you ask personal and business because it goes hand in hand. For the business, I want to grow education in other countries. I'm actually talking to a lady in Dubai. So different countries where women can be helped, and I want to grow the education in that area. The products I'm distributor of the United States, of course, to grow the brand and to get to women that will help them feel great and look beautiful. So that's another one of my goals. And in a personal level, I see myself working with a lot of women that are in distress and going through abuse, and mentoring them, and maybe having a podcast and just being of service and support. That's something that I always wanted to do, and that's something that is one of the goals that I have. I don't have it very clear, but I know that it's going to go into that direction because that's what I want, and it'll come to me, but it's something that it's already in process, and that I wanted to just work with women and have a lot of speaking engagements and talk about all these topics and just help them to grow and be stronger and become entrepreneurs and believe in themselves.
I love that. I know Tony Robbins, part of his levels of high achievement, it would be the mix between the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment. And part of the art of fulfillment is to give and to serve, and you're fulfilling that right there. So, he's an expert of whatnot of high performance life and business, and you're exemplifying that in so many ways. Now, where can people find you? What's your website? We'll put your links in the description below, but anywhere people can locate you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, LinkedIn, all the social media, you can put Adriana Wroth or AW Advanced Aesthetic Training. My website is awadvancedaesthetictraining.com, so you can look me up, and I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. So these days with social media, it's so easy to find us. We're located in Deerfield Beach, Florida, and I'm always accessible to anyone. I make the time. And for some reason I was in my days, and that's part of being present. A lot of people I hear saying, "Oh, I don't have time. The day was so short." For some reason, my days are always long. I have plenty of time for everything, and I think it's because I'm not ahead and I'm not behind. So the day seems to be longer. So I'm always available. So just reach out. You can just call. I'm sure you're going to have the numbers there, or send me an email, adriana@awaesthetictraining.com, and I'll be happy to talk to you if there's anything that I can do in any level, personal, business. I'm here.
I love it. Well, thanks so much for coming on Millionaire Voices, and I really appreciate it and learned so much from you today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this show, and tune in to the next episode that we'll have. We'll put the link in all of her descriptions below. And
well, thank you. I'm very, very humbled to be here with you today. It's been amazing. Just, you guys know the energy here is fantastic. It's great. And I really enjoy connecting with you and doing this today. And I admire the work that you're doing, taking the time to share with other people and bring business owners. I know that we tried for several months. He never gives up, that I can say, and always calling it, what are we going to do this? What are we going to do this? And finally we're here. So I appreciate what you're doing, because I can't, you're making this happen. You're reaching to all these people, and that's priceless that you're taking the time. So thank you for thinking of me and for inviting me. I appreciate it, and for you guys taking the time to watch this interview today. Thank you.